Welcome to Curtis Ghost Corner, coming to you from a secret underground base in occupied America. Welcome back. You're going to love this one. Here we go. Our favorite, almost Supreme Court Justice Merrick Garland, now the current Attorney General of the United States, said during a congressional hearing, the same law applies to everyone, and somebody called him a straight-up liar. How the hell can he say that with a straight face? Our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient, Garland testified in a hearing Wednesday. Well, we know that's a lie, so he lied under oath, so why isn't he charged? Let's listen what this thing God, almost Supreme Court Justice, had to say.
And our job is to uphold the rule of law. That means we apply the same laws to everyone. There is not one set of laws for the powerful and another for the powerless, one for the rich and another for the poor, one for Democrats and another for Republicans, or different rules depending upon one's race or ethnicity or religion.
You liar!
Our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient. Our job is not to take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate.
And he said that with a straight face, folks. Social media users slammed U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland for insisting during a recent hearing that the U.S. Department of Justice applies the law same to everyone. No serious person believes that, of course, and calls it bull. Of course it is. Others call Garland a straight-up liar. This is his revenge. This is his revenge on the Republicans at the end of Obama's term when he was put up for Justice of the Supreme Court vacancy, and President Trump ended up winning, so he got pushed out. The rule goes, and it's been the rule for a long time, you say, well, John, that's dirty pool. The president gets to appoint anybody they want. An outgoing president doesn't do the appointments with a different party in control of the Congress. That's been the way it's always been. And it's been vice versa as well. Garland made the claim while testifying for multiple hours in a House Judiciary hearing on Wednesday. Now, did you notice the two guys in that video looking around at all the congressional members? They want to see probably which ones were rolling their eyes or which ones were just shaking their heads and laughing, so they can write down who they were. Let's tell the truth here. They're not there for security. No Congress member is going to assault the Attorney General. I mean, Congress conducted the cross-examination of Garland. A part of it's investigating alleged politicalization of the DOJ. It's not alleged. It's true. It's amazing to me. I know I say that a lot, but why am I still surprised or amazed? Maybe I'm just too naive. I don't know. Garland's claim also follows IRS whistleblower testimony for Congress. Procedural decisions made through the year-long federal investigation into first son Hunter Biden has been influenced by politics. Yeah, they slow-played it. So the statute of limitations would go up. Now let's take a look at a couple of questions from Jim Jordan, the chairman. Notice the two thugs in the back there, the one with the red tie and the one with the burgundy color tie. Look at them looking around at which congressional members are rolling their eyes, and they're keeping track. Why is the security there for an Attorney General congressional hearing? Anyway, let's listen to this guy lie his ass off.
Quote, Mr. Weiss has full authority to bring cases in other jurisdictions if he feels it's necessary. That was your response, Attorney General, to Senator Grassley's question on March 1st, 2023. You just referenced it when Mr. Bishop was questioning you. Only problem is he'd already been turned down by the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia, Mr. Graves. So he didn't have full authority, did he?
I had an extended conversation with Senator Grassley at the time. We briefly touched on the Section 515 question and how that process went. I've
My
never
point's real
been
simple.
suggested.
My point's real simple, Mr. Garland. You said he had complete authority, but he'd already been turned down. He
can't
wanted to
be-
bring an action in the District of Columbia, and the U.S. attorney there said, no, you can't. And then you go tell the United States Senate under oath that he has complete authority.
I'm going to say again that no one had the authority to turn him down. They could refuse to partner with him. They could
You
not.
can use whatever language refuse to partner is turning down.
Well, it's not the same under a well-known Justice Department practice.
Here's why the statute of limitations question is important, and Mr. Bishop was getting at just a few minutes ago. Here's why it's important. You let the statute of limitations lapse for 2014, 2015.
Now, I want to cut in here and talk about, just for a second, President Trump and his allegations concerning the civil suit that he assaulted someone in a department store dressing room. Her attorney went to my state, unfortunately I live in New York, and had the law changed so the statute of limitations would be waived. Actually wrote the law and gave it to the assembly members and the Senate members, because they're all run by Democrats in New York, so they could change the law retroactively and go after President Trump. The attorney for the accuser went to Albany to rewrite the law and had the statute of limitations changed, and then turned around and sued President Trump in civil court. Think about that for a minute. It's incredible to me that they can get away with this crap.
Those were the years with the felony tax charges where Hunter Biden was getting income from Burisma. Here are 4 facts that I think are so important. Hunter Biden was put on the board of Burisma, made a lot of money, got paid a lot of money over those years, a couple $1 million. He wasn't qualified. Fact number 2, he wasn't qualified to be on the board of Burisma. Not my words, his words. He said he got on the board because of his last name. The brand, as Devin Archer said when he was under oath and we deposed him. Fact number 3, Burisma executives told Hunter Biden, we're under pressure, we need help. Fact number 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine, leverages our tax money, American people's tax money, to get the prosecutor fired who was applying the pressure. Interestingly enough, that fact is entirely consistent with what the confidential human source told the FBI, and they recorded in the 1023 form. The same form Mr. Wray didn't want to let this committee and the Congress see.
Now, I'm not a body language expert, but look at the Attorney General's eyes blinking constantly. That shows stress. You know, he'll get some cake job after this. He'll be in some think tank somewhere for $300 grand a year, and then he'll get $30,000, $40,000 plus for each speaking engagement, and he's set. He's set forever. Plus they go after the political enemies. I mean, think about this. There are people in jail just for walking through the door of the Capitol on January 6th. Is that trespassing? Yeah. I mean, it's a fine. It's a ticket. It's not even a misdemeanor. It's a citation. You trespassed. They didn't try to interfere with what was going on there. It's nonsense. But yet, an individual that cornered a kid with his truck in an alley and killed him because he was a Republican, he was demonstrating for the Republicans, pro-Trump, only got 5 years in jail for killing a kid. But if you walked in the doorway of the Capitol January 6th, you got anywhere from 10 to 20 years in jail. There was some people that were convicted under federal law, and he's the Attorney General. He is the highest ranking law enforcement officer in the country. They got multiple years. In fact, some judges went above and beyond what the DOJ wanted for prosecution. This is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. And now they've indicted a lot of Trump lawyers. They're making it known. Anybody that associates themselves with Trump during the end of his presidency, your life is over. The penalty is not jail. The penalty is the process. You'll spend hundreds of thousands plus defending yourself and then found not guilty, or they drop the charges, and yet your life is destroyed financially. And most of these people aren't kids. They can just turn around and start over in their 60s. And that is the deal. Yeah, you disperse justice equally. What a crock of crap.
That all happened. That all happened. And what I'm wondering is why you guys let the statute of limitations lapse for those tax years that dealt with Burisma income.
There's one more fact that's important, and that is that this investigation was being conducted by Mr. Weiss, an appointee of President Trump. You will, at the appropriate time, have the opportunity to ask Mr. Weiss that question, and he will no doubt address it in the public report that will be transmitted.
What they're saying is this, my office, as Attorney General, did not tell anybody to do anything. Also, we have a report that came out of the White House when the last charge in Fulton County in Georgia, the charges against Trump, the RICO charges and all the rest, they were told by the White House, indict today. And the district attorney said, listen, it's going to be 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock before we can get it done. Do it anyway. Why? Because something bad came out about Biden and Hunter Biden. Every single time something breaks about the crap that goes on with President Biden and his son and the dirty crap that went on with that, the next day there's a Trump indictment. In fact, go back in my videos and you'll see a short where a Trump attorney lists a whole list of indictments. Just happened to be directly after President Biden is caught with a hand in a cookie jar again. So that way you get to change the narrative. And of course, most of the mainstream media is right in their pocket.
To the Congress. I don't know the answer to those questions.
Did they forget? Did the lawyers just like let it? Did they just like, oh, darn, we let it? Were they careless?
I expect that won't be what he says, but because I
You
promise...
know that's not the case, because as Mr. Bishop pointed out, they had a tolling agreement. They talked to Hunter Biden's defense counsel and say, let's extend the statute of limitations. And then at some point, they made an intentional decision to say, we're going to let the statute of limitations lapse. And I want to know who decided that and why they did it.
Mr. Weiss was a supervisor of the investigation at that time and at all times. He made the appropriate decisions, and you'll be able to ask him that question, and he will.
You know why they did it? Everyone knows why they did it. May not say it, but everyone knows why they did it. They didn't. Those tax years, that dealt with that involved the president. It's one thing to have a gun charge in Delaware. That doesn't involve the president of the United States. But Burisma, oh my, that goes right to the White House. We can't have that. And we can slow walk this thing along. We can even extend the statute of limitations, and then we can intentionally let it lapse. And we know this investigation was slow. Here's what everyone said. Shapley said, DOJ slow walked the investigation. Ziegler, slow walking in the approvals of everything. This happened at the Delaware's attorney's office and DOJ tax level. Mr. Sobocinski, the FBI agent, said, I would have liked to see things move faster. Ms. Hawley said the same. Every witness we've talked to said this thing was slow walked, and we know why. They slow walked it long enough to let the statute of limitations run so they wouldn't have to get into Burisma. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Will the gentleman yield?
No, I'm asking Mr. Garland the
I
question.
think I've tried to make clear that I don't know the specifics of the investigation. Much of what you are...
That is total, unadulterated bull. He is under oath. Oh, did he personally give the order to do this or that? No, but he told some higher up. They call that plausible deniability. I had somebody else do it. This is where Donald Trump has to win. He has to win. He has to root out the AG's office, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, all the other intelligence agencies, and all the bureaucratic agencies in every single department, transportation, energy, education, the list is endless. Agriculture, the works, EPA. These bureaucrats are really running things. These Congress members make the laws, and the bureaucrats interpret them and do everything they want with them. That's a two-tiered system. Trump is the only person that has the balls to clean them all out. Send a notice to the FBI. I'm in charge now. We'll have a new AG, and we're going to find out who the players were, as many as we can, and get rid of them forever. Garland added, our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient. What a crock of horse. Our job is not to take orders from the president. You work directly for the president. Anybody that can fire you, you work for. The president can ask for the attorney general's resignation tomorrow. Who appointed you? Joseph Biden, the current president. That's who you take orders from. Anybody that can fire you, you work for. We don't take orders from Congress or anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate. Yeah, you did. Congress went through some of the members when the Democrats had control, even now when they're not in control, whispered in the president's ear, we want the attorney general to do this, this, and this. They're going after Christians, for Pete's sake. People protesting in front of abortion clinics, which is their right. But what about, remember the riots that were done on swearing-in day, January 2017, when they burned up that poor guy's limousine? He was a private owner of a limousine. They burned it all down. They burned a bunch of other stuff, smashed windows everywhere in D.C. while President Trump was being sworn in. And they arrested a whole bunch of them. And guess what happened? They sued. The charges were dropped, and the city of Washington paid them over $100,000 each in restitution when they were vandalizing everything. Yeah, that's a two-tier justice system. The Attorney General's claim Wednesday follows long-running accusations from former President Donald Trump and others that the Biden DOJ have been weaponized against the former president, including the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago. Unnecessary. Was cultivated in Trumpian, indicted on federal charges for allegedly scheming to conceal classified documents to Florida residents. All right, there's a standard rule of the FBI. We don't raid any well-known or high-ranking politicians, whether in office or not, 90 days from an election. 90 days, because it just causes too much havoc. It's basically election interference. So take a wild guess. How many days out from Election Day when Mar-a-Lago got raided? If the rule is 90 days, take a wild guess how many days out they did it. 91. 91 days. But that was just a coincidence, of course. It's amazing to me. Additionally, conservatives have skewered Garland for the FBI's alleged aggressive investigation tactics toward traditional Catholic communities. I'm Roman Catholic. I take great offense to that. And for the alleged disparity of the DOJ's treatment of the January 6 rioters and BLM Antifa rioters from summer 2020. Disparity? You got to be kidding me. After years of these and similar allegations against the Biden DOJ piling up, conservatives on X, formerly Twitter, did not buy Garland's statement. And here's some of them here. It's just incredible. We need a Pinocchio meme. Yeah, right. It's conservative commentator, a nuanced bro claimed no serious person believes this. No one believes him, said the GOP House Judiciary Committee. The Department of Justice did not respond to a request for comment. Yeah, do you think? He's taking marching orders from whoever is president. Now, I'm not even saying Joe Biden is president on paper. He was sworn in, took the oath, all that stuff. He has the powers of the president. But he's not really the president as a matter of nuts and bolts, everyday things. There's a group of people, we can only guess who they are and probably be somewhat accurate, who are really giving the orders, that are telling the DOJ, you need to go after this person, you need to go after that person, and make sure you're harsh on this one. And that's what's going on. At the same time, they're throwing Joe Biden under the bus. They used him. He wanted to be president. He got what he wanted. The Democrats wanted Trump out and also have a pile of indictments. That's what they got. And now Joe's usefulness is done. Remember, you heard it here first. I would say late February, early March of next year, maybe just a hair sooner because there's enough time for primaries. The word's going to go out. Or if you see a lot of Democrats that are supposedly allies of Biden put their names in the primary cycle for the Democratic nomination for president next year, then you'll know. They've already started to give the word to the media. The mainstream media they own start to slowly go after Biden. And they're doing that in the press room at the White House. People that would only ask questions that people think came from Peter Doocy from Fox, and now all the rest are asking the same questions. Why does he continue to lie? Why does he continue to say things that are easily debunked? And that's from mainstream media because they've been getting the green light. Same with all the websites. Same with all the liberal websites. Same with this website. They go against channels like mine, but we're still here. We're still fighting away. It's an entire farce. If the founders are around today, they would be screaming. So this is the revenge of Merrick Garland on him getting, he thinks, screwed out of a Supreme Court seat. All right. What's worse, what he's doing now or him being on the Supreme Court? I think they dodged a bullet. That's the one thing I give Mitch McConnell credit for, keeping this genius off the Supreme Court. We're going to have to see what happens. It's going to be incredible. One of the Trump trials is going to be televised. Trump's going to testify in one. I mean, it's going to be a circus. And we'll see how Trump handles it. I think he'll do well. Being in a circus is his forte. He loves to mix it up. We're going to have to see how it turns out. And I feel badly for all of his former lawyers and his current lawyers that are under indictment. Other people who spent basically their life savings, like General Flynn, had to sell his house. They're destroying lives. That they can't take back. Trump has to win. Not because he's Donald Trump, because he's against all the people that are taking the Constitution, the secret FISA courts, all the intelligence services, and all the rest, in using their power to go after political enemies. This is what third world countries do that we supposedly invade to fix their system of just rotten to the core. We invade countries for less than this. And here we are, it's in our own country. Sorry to go a little bit long, but I felt this was important. I take a big sigh because I don't know what's going to happen. I can only pray. And until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.